the monarchy of 550 to 350 before Christ. In doing a little more research, there are those who actually put this type of mythology of the four royal stars back 3,000 to 4,000 years ago from today. So that's even further back in history. So I'm not sure what's correct, but I thought I'd give a shout out that this idea of how
Alright, so, you know, I've been on some top 10 shit lately. So, but the thing started with me up in astrology, right? I mean, just by listening to certain stuff and different perspectives. But also, when I was trying to decode the virus, right? Because then as I'm seeing it, right? Because there's an awakening going on, right? So as it's happening, I'm realizing that the virus was actually telling you a cycle, right? Because look, the only way they can do certain things, first of all, universal law, they can't just do it at certain times. That's when they make holidays and certain events dealing with like sports and stuff like that. But peep game, like the reason for that is because um certain energies hit around the globe, or in other words around the compass, right? Because you got poles that deals with certain energies just like a compass do, right? The compass was actually the compass and the clock was actually devices that our ancient ones used to calculate or measure energy through hertz and sacred degree. That's when it comes back to the number 9, and some of them come back to the numbers really 1 through 9, low key, but a lot of them deal with 369 for me. Once you add them up with like numerology or something like that. But anyways, so like say for the clock, right, or the circle is a 360, but you still have different geometrical shapes due to alignments, right? And those alignments make different hertz. So say when you look above, right, you see these different alignments. Those different alignments, right, are creating different energies, right? But it's aligned below. That's why it's so above, so below. So it's aligned to you and these different land masses and stuff, right? And these different parallels, right? And that ties to the alpha beta system, right? The alpha beta system was the vibration, right? The pronunciation is the vibration of the frequency that you're creating through your throat chakra, right? That's really why throat chakra is really one of the most powerful ones. Really, all your chakras powerful, but the thing about the throat chakra is you can't generate no airflow to your other chakras or even generate the blood to even flow, right? That's why the heart, they have to attack the heart always. But that ties mentally and physically because that ties to the material things in the physical world, and then it ties to your perspective of how you think, which is crown and root, dealing with the heart. It can make a roller coaster from the heart and the loop. I mean, the heart and the root. If you can't break past the the twin chakra, which is the root and the sacral, right? Because those two frequencies added together actually makes, I believe, either the heart frequency or the third eye frequency. If you add them together, it's like some weird science that I was doing. Because I made the sacral actually a little different. Because if you look at the symbol, it actually has a spiral, like a loop that goes around, right? And it kind of looks like a magnetic field that's like breaking type, or how it looks on lasso. Like it goes around, but it goes around in a 360, right? So thing about the 360, it deals with a loop, right? But these alignments is like different, like ping pong. Like, I mean, not ping pong, but it's that arcade game with the ball. And be hitting all the lights and stuff, and different ones, and you get points. And then if you let it go past, it like goes down the hole and shit. I can't remember what that game called, but it's something like that. So it's like as the energy is rising, they're connecting and is bringing more magnetism to this point, which is the planet, because we're pretty much in the middle of the tri-solar system that's kind of going on to a certain extent. Not exactly the middle, but I'm just saying, like, so like so when it comes to the clock, right, you got your 90 degrees, right? Say if you had a circle, you make a 90 degrees, right, line. For me, that's gonna make uh like a pie type shit, like a slice of a pie. For me, and what is pi? The circumference, right? So it's like all this geometry. I'm not even about to get into that, but like geometry ties into geometric shapes. For me, and that's the thing about the Egyptians, right? They dealt with hertz, I mean frequencies and geometrical shapes, right? Because they understood that the vibration in these certain shapes actually harness energy from the sun, because really the sun deals with time from its hertz that it shoots off. So while these frequencies is hitting you higher, is actually going back to the time, is making you remember, because the hertz is like, if it was like quantum loops, right? If you was time traveling, you would have to tap into the hertz. You feel me? So it's like, because you have to tap into the frequency. You have to tap into the hertz. You got your different organs, different shapes, and they're making their own alignments and shit. Because your DNA is actually Z's. It's not the little squiggly line like the snake and shit. The snake actually represents the connection from the Kundalini energy the blue flame, because that deals with infrared light for me. So when that deals with UV light, no, yeah, that, let me reverse that. That deals with UV light. So when you're dealing with UV light, that actually deals with infrared light. And the thing about your pineal gland, it likes it like transfer infrared light into light transmission codes. You feel me? And as the light hit, is like building a wall of messages. Feel me? Like same when you look with your eyes and your hands and everything, because it deals with your nervous system. And your nervous system does what? Sends out signals to your whole body. Feel me? So it's like that's when it goes like they didn't really praise the sun. They just acknowledged it for what it did for them because they realized they were connected. So when it comes to hertz and degrees, that deals with frequencies and geometrical shapes. So that ties back to the Egyptians and the pyramids and all that. But the pyramid with symbolism actually has different meanings, I guess. But my meanings for it is the upside down triangle is the sun, UV. That represents the UV. Feel me? Like blue Katrina, red sun coming together, A plus B making C, gamma light, which makes a E epsilon, which is a cough at a tilt, right? The light goes through the sun, which is still the moon, but you can see it more when you look at the moon through the reflection that you're seeing from the aura of the two, because A plus B creates light. That's just like you. If your light body was to get in tune with itself physically and mentally, then your body would actually absorb the light and create a magnetic field, which will create an aura because you're in a light body. Like all these, everything around you is a reflection of you, but it's for you to see it through life. You feel me? Not to see it through um, a low entity perspective, because a low entity perspective may could see it clear, but they could never like see it clear for themselves, especially one that can never rise. You feel me? Um, and then again, I can't even say that because like they know, but it's like it's over for them, pretty much. But yeah, so this 3 to 6 9 thing goes to the alpha beta system. Like I said, the alpha beta systems, they're like ABCs, right? But this is where we fucked up because uh, the following ones, right? Just like Bashar Jamal said, they was pillow talking. The niggas was pillow talking. But peep game, they taught them really, now that I think about it, I'm not even trying to spit nothing against what he said, because he totally right in my eyes, because that's how I see it. But now that I'm talking about the alpha beta system, like we taught them the alpha beta system, right? But dealing with the alpha beta back then to a certain extent, that taught them about so above, so below, right? It's just now they made English, but the languages that they were making and stuff like that, really that just tied to like the different vibrations, uh, the masculine, the feminine, uh, shit like that. That's when it became like more of a spell. Feel me? Because when you look at certain like Latin, you got your masculine, your feminine, different translations dealing with like 9, right? I believe it was like 8 or 9, and then it's different for the Latin, and then it's different for like Mexicans, for like nosotros, vosotros, or some shit like that. But like, anyways, then you got your Greek, which is like the Hebrew to a certain extent. Feel me? But all of them relate to each other. It's just they always use like 3 alternates. It's like 3 alternates. You just like Spider-Man. You feel me? It's like or your past, your present, and your future. That's why when we actually speak out, it shuts them down because the thing is, these hurts is like some time traveling shit. It's always been like that. It's just when you're controlling the energy that you're receiving and not letting it control you, then it's in unity. So it's like you can really just be like, all right, I want to go figure this shit out. Go to sleep and time travel. But it's the thing is, if you don't do anything in the present, is not waking yourself up, what you would call the past. But it's really is not even a past. It's just loops going on. That's why I feel like some people might die, then fuck around and come back to that same moment, reliving it due to a loop. Because it's like you be in the future, you be goddamn in the past, and then if it goes even deeper where you're like seeing your past lives and shit, like you see what you were beforehand, and then that intuition manifests in the physical in the present. So it's like you going in the past, seeing your past life, you you start to remember, and those memories become actions. You feel me? Because now it's in your subconscious, but now you're tapped into your subconscious, right? So especially unlocking that unlocks through fasting, through the things that connect to you while you're under the sun and receiving planet energy from below. So it's like if you're matching the frequency above and below, then it tunes you in a little faster. Feel me? Like in my eyes, when it comes to fruit, I don't really think um it's a limit. So like I would just get a lot of it and smash it like Thanksgiving every day. Feel me? Cause at the end of the day, it's really not that expensive. Niggas say fruit's expensive, but fruit's only expensive when you're buying it already chopped up and stuff. Like get it yourself, chop it up, stretch it out with some water or something. Feel me? I like mine's blended. But I mean, it's pretty good when you juice too. Because when you juice it, let it sit, it actually turns into like regular juice type shit. But me, I'm cool with the bland taste. It's just, you really don't have to buy shit from the store. Because that shit be tasting way better. Like, if you could perfect it, you will if you start playing with it. Just like anything else. But that's what I'm saying. It also ties back to the 3 of them manipulating shit. Is it's always like 3 aliases, right? Of the same person. From the banks to like to who's running the world. Like in my eyes, I feel like Russia is still running shit. Or because Russia is like the Jews that they call Jews, those are Russians. You feel me? Those are Russians. They're tied into their blood. You feel me? Like crossbreed. Russians and Indians together makes fucking juice. You feel me? So when it comes to this money shit, they're actually then they're in alliance with China. But the thing is, they're in alliance with the US too. NATO is part of that shit too. So it's like when you look at it in that way and they're acting like they're allies, I mean, like they're allies and axis, really they're all together. That's the only way they even make world order, period. You feel me? It's just family lines and yeah, because those family lines is of rich people and they're just investing in everything. You feel me? So like, it's just investing into bullshit and investing into investigations of the melanated race and how it connects to nature, the biology, the study of life, which is the study of us, the chemistry, how how our cells, how the chemistry is like how we connect to it, you feel me? And the elements that helps us, the minerals, and the shit that destroys us, right? That's when they make drugs. That's when the alchemy comes in with the chemistry, you feel me? Because you can mix up natural resources, but certain natural resources that you're mixing can make an unnatural compound. Feel me? Certain shit, nothing. It's not really meant to be mixed for certain things. Feel me? But that's how I know they got the Book of Thoth because, or like some emerald tablets that they're saying they. I mean, at the end of the day, if they did know how to control it, they would. It's just I don't think they could understand all of it, maybe, and that's why I feel like I really want to like keep talking and shit about something, like going a little deeper, but something I learned while I was looking up shit, cause it was the downloads I had to connect within myself, and there's something that's called Zeno, right, which deals with Greek, but Greek and Hebrew and Latin all deal with each other. That's why they use all three to create English. So to understand English, you have to go to those three in origin at least to to see what it really means. That's just like a spelling bee. If you couldn't remember the definition but you knew the origin, then you have a little leadway to figure out to remember how it was spelled or whatever. So the thing they use is something called Zeno, right? Because at first it's something called Xenobot. It started with a Z at first, but then still with the X, it's still pronounced as a Z. You feel me? That's how I kind of see the X gene, right? Or your homologous pairs, right? When they're paired up side to side, they still make Z's. But when they paired up side to side, it's gonna make like 12 strains within uh 4 Z's. Feel me? Like 4 lines. But sideways, it looks like Z's. And then the structure at the same time, if you were to cut the lines out in the middle and go off the outline, it would look like a time hourglass, which represents magnetism. a U up because the sand only falls because of the magnetism pulling it down, right? And that still pulls energy down because sand is actually one of the most powerful resources. Um, and that just takes me to some whole other shit. And I didn't really plan on saying that about sand, but I never did. So I think this happened like 2021 when I wrote this. Because I think that's when La Palma was going off. It was erupting for a minute too. But I just wanted. So I was saying UK of Israel is the United Kingdom because Israel is Jacob and Jacob is Yaqub. Yaqub is Satan, hell on earth. Pope in the Vatican, QE, Prince of UK equals Satan. Biden is like a little pond for him. Whoop de whoop. So for some reason I started looking up sand and what it means. But that's what I want to go back to, like when they harness different energies and shit like that. The they harness different energies through certain events, but say like arenas and shit, right? The real arenas used to have sand as the pit. So really maybe under them where they build the arenas, they put sand as the foundation under it first. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Um, but anyways, let's get it. Alright, so the word sand originated from the Old Dutch word saint or sant, which itself originated from the Old Dutch English word, which itself originated from the Old Dutch word sant, which means sand. And Zan means sand, because they use S's and Z's too. The word that came to meaning something that was finer than gravel but coarser than dust. The word arena actually means sand in Latin. So boom, yeah. So that's the arenas, bro. So the arena means sand. So any arena, really anything dealing with sports, if it's football, basketball, soccer, anything, all the stadiums, all of those are arenas. You feel me? So, but it's something about their main events. Other than the weekends or pretty much when CMEs hit, you feel me? It be shit going on. Because that's how they've been doing it the whole time. Because the only way to manipulate it is, or to manipulate anyone that's even connected to it, is to manipulate it with the cycle. So they really know the cycle because Tesla be talking about it. So it's like they already know the fuck they be doing. That's why someone that's actually in charge is giving them orders that is totally against his own kind. That's when you know nigga ain't white. So look, alright, so the Romans would cover the grand, no, The Romans will cover the ground of the gladiator pits or arenas in sand so the blood would drain away. But where would it drain away to? Because a lot of them pits had certain animals under them, and during that time, I'm gonna say different type of creatures, just like a cool movie would be like. Feel me? But at the same time, during those time, those creatures were actually on the realm because 321 was open and 789 was open above. Reason they had watchers or whatever coming down from the skies when they was looking up and shit. Cause 789 was open. When it comes consciously, that already started 2019. You feel me? Like going higher into consciousness. You feel me? That came, that started. So it's like if you were doing your part, and actually I was like understanding your biology, your chemistry, and the pathology of how it works with you. Because that's psychology and biology. You feel me? It's a mental and physical thing. Because A plus B equals C, which is 72 hertz, which is the brainwave, the state that you need to be in, because that's your natural state. Feel me? So I don't know what it is about sand, but let's see. Arenas was literally placed with sand. I in Hebrew means sand. I only say I as the letter I. So I stands for iota, and I think in Greek and Latin. That's what I'm saying. Like the alpha beta system tells a story, but it also shows you the scales. It's just if you can peep game, because there's no number greater than 9. You feel me? So say like, hold on real quick. I just wanna show you this is how we showed them. Cause what did we teach them? We taught them the alpha beta system, right? But this is something you need to understand about the alpha beta system. Because look, we telepathically spoke. So when people say we taught them words and shit, right? We didn't teach them words. We taught them vibrations, right? Because what were we doing with vibrations and with certain geometrical shapes? And what did the vibrations do? It made geometrical shapes. Feel me? Different geometrical shapes held different energies. But this is what I'm saying, though. This is what they stole. Look, they didn't steal no fucking ABCs. They stole your light, which is the A plus B equals C. And nobody that I know says that. But that's why I'm going to tell you. A plus B equals C. Dealing with you. But you being a son, right? A plus B plus C equals M, which is like mu or ma, right? Because the vowels, the letters might change up the pronunciation, right? Depending on how you pronunciate words, right? And most of the time that deals with what land region you was on, dealing with the language you learned. So like that being said, the vowels is just a pronunciation. It doesn't change the meaning of the word. Feel me? Just like if a letter was used before a new letter and it was just created, it doesn't change the vibration of the word. It kind of does. It doesn't change the meaning. It changes the vibration and reverses it. Feel me? So it's like if my name was Yahshua, nigga, then English, now my name is Joshua or like Jeshua. You feel me? Like you can't change the meaning of the name. But I'm just using that for example. So really I'm looking for the alphabet letters with the numbers. Cause like the numbers, right? The numbers is a scale that deals with 369. It's just the thing is, the higher the number goes. Dang, I need to get some water. I need some hot water. I have a bunch of it. Look, all right. For example, you see, this is like how it represents 369. So, say the beginning levels, right? You got your A through T, right? That represents 3, right? Then your 10 through 90 represents 6, right? You see A in micron, whoop-de-woo, right? I don't even think this lineup is right. It might be, but we're going to find a better chart. But just saying, so then the 9 actually comes from the 400, the 100, the 900. You see how I always went to 9. But the thing is numerology to it. So when you still add those numbers up, it equals 9. It's just the spaces represents the interval of it by the antimatter, the valence electrons. You want to say some shit like that. But yeah, that's really what it is. It gives a higher charge, the higher it goes. So that's when you have, hold on, let me find a better chart.